Creamer Media's Mining Weekly Online is speaking to Errol Smart, the CEO of Orion Minerals. Errol, can you tell us about this exciting new transaction?
The big partners that have brought us to the point that we are now, we're going to reward them, and we're going to essentially take them with a flip up of their shares into Orion listed level. So for the first time now, they actually hold a listed equity, a tradable equity, and they have value in their hands. Some of them might increase their value. Some of them might sit on where it is, and over time, some of them might trade out. But we're very happy that most of them will probably keep their shares and stay as shareholders and stay actively involved in the business. What we found is this fantastic win-win scenario. And taking two steps back to where the mining charter has left South African industry, and it's something that's very dear to my heart, and you know that I bang on the drum all the time about it. South Africa has lost its junior mining capacity. There is no junior mining. Because unfortunately, with the best of intentions, the mining charters force an unnatural situation on investors. And it creates a B-class investor from a black investor. We don't want to deal with black investors because they're black. We want to deal with them because they're people that we want to deal with and that they can bring value to the table. So we've had that with the guys that have come in, but any business, anywhere in the world, is always a group of partners that invest and take it to the next leg, and then they get the next step of investors and move on and keep growing the business, and everybody's got a value asset. Unfortunately, what the mining charter always insists on is that you have locked in shareholders. So you have a situation that they can't sell their shares equal to everybody else, and it becomes a lower value or a B-class share. Because of that, it really is a second-class share. It's not as good as what the primary investors that are sitting at the holding company, and very often a listed holding company, have got. What we wanted to achieve is have the situation that everybody is exactly on the same level. Everybody has the same risk and reward. So we finally found a formula to achieve this. Whereas our founding BE shareholders now will be listed company shareholders. We've got a new group of incoming BE shareholders that have demonstrated their support and belief in this company, that they invest alongside the international investors. And they are coming in, they take in shares, they're sharing the risk, and they're sharing the reward in the future. But they will also become BE shareholders down at the mining right level. So we'll be mining charter compliant, and we've got 5 years to achieve charter compliance because we were one of those few companies that had a pending mining right. So we've actually got 5 years to achieve it, but we've elected to go ahead and do it now. In good faith, we've got the right partners, we want to bring them in now. We're not doing it because there's a law that says we have to do it. We're doing it because we believe it's the right thing to do and it enhances value for everybody. So let's look at the guys that we're bringing in. We've got a group of people under the name of Black Star, born and bred Priska people, a mining engineer, a banker. So Joel Tobias, ex-IDC deal maker for the Northern Cape. He's now gone off and he's doing his own things, and he's got commercial farming businesses north of us and on the Orange River. You know, absolutely ideal people to have aboard. You've got Joel's wife is a mining engineer, a qualified mining engineer. Don't know, but at the coal face as such, or at the diamond face. She's more interested in education, so she drives an educational group. And then Sharon Matthews, who's a CA, a banker, and very involved in running a big law firm out of Cape Town. But what a fantastic opportunity, having people with financial capacity, also the capacity to actually bring finance to the table. They've got such good credentials with the banks in South Africa, and they know how to work in this commercial business space. So they've introduced us to their sources of finance. And we've already got a whole lot more comfort out of that, because we're seeing fund managers that otherwise we wouldn't have seen, that we've struggled to get through the door. We've seen banks that we haven't seen. And then they've teamed up with Billy Mawasha, who was MD of Rio Tinto South Africa most recently, but a long history with Anglo American before that. He's been at Kumba, he's been at Finch Mine, Taung born, but again from this northern region of the country. this district where we're operating in. So now we've got local partners that bring technical skills and financial skills. But Black Star, in addition to that, they own a group called Harip Mining. Harip is a joint venture with Lutzville Engineering, and they have built many of the diamond mining operations in South Africa, for that matter, not just in the Northern Cape. But at Finch Mine, there's one of their plants that's operating. They've been involved in a whole lot of mines all over South Africa. They've got big engineering workshops. They can do all your engineering, your steel fabrication, your plate work and steel work. That, for us as a company that's about to go into development at the moment, just brings such a cost saving and a development opportunity. So now our business partners who are aligned to us, they're shareholders with Orion shareholders, have got an interest in bringing down our construction costs and being involved. They are going to relocate a lot of their engineering capacity to Prieska. So suddenly Prieska has now got a engineering growth business, and it'll supply the surrounding diamond mines and mines in the region in the Northern Cape. And there's a whole lot of activity obviously happening in the Northern Cape at the moment with both mining and the renewable energy. There's massive wind farms under constructions and solar plants under construction. So that suddenly Prieska is coming alive, and the Prieska people are getting the chance to really operate in that. Now, these are the guys that are bringing technical capacity, financial capacity, and they're going to enhance our value as Orion shareholders. But over and above that, we've got a lot of, they happen to be black businessmen, but we just see them as investors in South Africa that have also been coming to the table and saying, we love what you're doing. We want base metal investment opportunities. There isn't a single base metal investment opportunity for any growth investor in mining in South Africa. We're it. You've either got Vedanta, who are private and large, or little old Orion that's going to build a very important mine, but it's a small mine, relatively small mine to start with, but a very important operation and a growth opportunity. So Godfrey Conway, who's got all the credentials. I remember when I joined Clough back in 1986, Godfrey was it. You know, this was the guy. He was the legend. For 9 years, he had led Clough. Remember, Clough was the company that brought heap leaching to Africa. They built the first heap leach plants, and that led to the development of heap leaching both in Zimbabwe and then East Africa and West Africa. Zimbabwe also built the first mechanized underground gold mine under Godfrey's leadership. Then, after Clough was taken over by Ashanti, Godfrey ended up in Anglo-American, and of course a long career in Anglo-American as chairman and CEO of a number of Anglo-American companies. So here's a guy that I sort of, when I started my career, I looked up to him. He was one of the legends in the industry. But he's seen both the junior mining industry, and he's seen the biggest of the big, and he's South African, and we all share a vision. You know, having Godfrey, the old mentor there, and when I say old only because he's been around years longer than us and he brings a lot of vision. You've got Billy, who's the young hotshot and won all sorts of awards over the last 2 years as the leading light of future mining in South Africa. And myself, who just throws rocks in the bush and hopes to achieve something at the end of the day. But we finally got a bunch of people around a table that share a vision. And our vision is to create value in South Africa, real homegrown value. And to break this mold about South Africa always has to trade as a discount. You know, there's always the South African discount. I'm so sick and tired of Australian fund managers saying, this is ridiculous. If you were in Australia, you would be valued at 2, 3, 4 times what you valued now. At South Africa, you're always going to trade at a discount. Why? What makes us have to trade at a discount? We've got top class investors. Yes, some of them are black, but they're investing at a premium to market because they're demonstrating their belief in the project in the long term. And before elections and all of those things, they've come to the table, they've taken their risk. We've got foreign investors that are saying, listen, if those guys are on board, we'll come alongside them at the same premium price. Let's keep going. This is going to grow into something special. And we've got a new think tank, a whole energy group that are going to be driving the growth of Orion into the future. So for me, I feel that we've come almost the full path. Over the next 2 months now, we'll be delivering our first bankable study. And lest we forget, that bankable study is only on the startup baseline project. We believe we've got a lot more at Prieska and in the Ariaga belt where we're busy working. And by bringing these people together, we can really unlock the value now. So it's a great opportunity. We're really looking forward to it, and it's a very exciting time in our lives.
And what will this investment be, and what percentage will they gain from this investment?
Well, they will hold the 20% required by the Mining Charter 3 at project level. They might hold larger percentages at listed company level. And I fully expect that that would be the case in the end. Godfrey and his group are only invested at listed company level. They might grow their investment there or work a path with us. We'll see where that goes in the long term. And all of our foreign investors are standing behind us to keep funding the equity share. Remember, when we go to build a mine, you will expect 2/3 of it to be bank finance and about 1/3 of it has to be equity financed. So these are guys that have demonstrated their ability to secure their 20% chunk at project level, or step in and continue funding Orion at the listed company level on the JSE, because they're all South Africans, because we've got that great opportunity by being dual listed ASX and JSE. We've got international investors that are happily playing on the ASX. What we want to do now is grow our JSE register and our South African exposure to investment.
And what is the transaction valued at as we look at it now? And how much money will it bring into your company?
The first transaction, the listed company transaction, is $8 million. We're busy finalizing the rest of the transaction at the moment, and as soon as we close that, and we expect to close that by the 11th of June, we've set that as a target for ourselves, then we'll disclose the rest of the transaction. But the initial transaction is $8 million in total, of which about half of it is being taken by South Africans, and as it happens, it's black South Africans.